As we gather in for the Celtic Festival, we always have a chance to examine of great calamity. So as we strive looking for the pure solution or the strength to get through, let's do that together today. Let's draw deep from the well of salvation and find for ourselves a community, a beloved community. Right now, you're part of it. We are together in this moment. So let us be in this place as part of God's beloved family. Here's our call to worship, to center ourselves and begin our service.
Good morning. I'm Joseph Jacobs. We are so glad you are worshiping with us on this Celtic Sunday. To begin, let me offer us these words from the Iona community. I will light a light in the name of the Maker who lit the world and breathed the breath of life. I will light a light in the name of the Son, who saved the world and stretched his hand to me. I will light a light in the name of the Spirit, who encompasses the world and blesses my soul with years. We will light 3 lights for the Trinity of love, God above us, God beside us, God beneath us, the beginning, the end, the everlasting one.
God above us, God around us, God within us. The Celts always saw the immanence of God, that is to say, the presence of God in nearly everything. And so we gather this day to be a part of that all-encompassing divinity. Inside each of us is some spark. Inside each of us is the power and the breath, as well as the worries and the fears. We are fearfully and wonderfully made, says the Scripture, part mystery, part mud. As we gather in this day, let me gather us in that we might be at peace in this place. Wherever your spirit is, wherever your heart is troubled, whatever has gone on this week that did not go well, breathe with me and breathe in deep this moment, and may peace be with you. Hear these greetings from around the world and around our community.
Good morning. Peace be with you.
Good morning, friends. Peace be with you.
Hi, it's so good to see you today. Peace be with you.
Good morning, peace be with you.
It's great to see so many good faces, and I'm sorry that we can't see each other face to face more often. I really, really, really know how hard this is, and you can imagine what it's like for those of us here in the room. There's only 4 or 5 of us here, but you know, your presence, your comments in the chat, your clicking like and hearts and things like that, it makes such a difference. I hope that if you're on Facebook or YouTube right now, it's a good way to just let people know that you're here. We hope to gather community from around the country. We're looking to get one service where we get people from all 50 states. So if you're from out of Kentucky, we would love to know that. If you're from out of the country, we would love to know that. Just click that, whether you're watching live or later on. We'd be delighted to just know that you were present. You can also click the heart button or the like button anytime that you feel an amen rising up inside you, or if you'd like to just respond in kind with the comments or prayers for someone else. We want this to be interactive if we can be, so that we can share that sense of being with one another, if not in physical presence, in this moment of spiritual connection. There are a lot of things going on in the church, and you might want to find out more about them. You can always do that if you're not already a member of the church mailing list. We'd love to have you be, and we try to be very cautious about that. We try not to send out too many announcements. If you will, you can go to union-church.org/news. And there you can see all of the announcements. And also, regardless of how you're watching, you can also get all the prayers and all of the readings from today's service by going to union-church.org. And there you'll find a link to the bulletin. If you're watching on the church website now, that link should be off onto the right. If you're watching on Facebook, I think one of our faithful stewards is going to post that link for you, and you might be able to find it by clicking on the chat box if you can. And of course, you can always download it later. Also, I wanted to say that if you know of someone for whom watching electronically is difficult, we would love to make it a little easier if we can. We can provide some tech service during the week. We can also provide audio recordings. We could help 2 p.m. The family will be live here in the sanctuary, just a small group, but her many friends and all the students, all of you are invited to participate with us at home. And you can do that if you'll have a candle with you for tonight, for this afternoon service. That'll be one way that you can help them. I wanted to thank you also for the many generous offerings. There have been people who have offered their time, their talent. Your boards and committees are still working hard to keep us all connected. And if you've been able to make Union Church one of the places where you focus your generosity, we are so grateful. And we're working together to try and make our community gifts the beneficiary of that as well. So from counseling to classes to inspiration, you are helping God's work here, and we are so grateful. One of the things we're working on right now are ways to support our working families. Hey, families, we see you. We see how hard this is to be trying to work from possibly remotely, have kids who aren't sure what's going to happen with school, and having to do their own schoolwork at home. So we're working hard. We've got some thoughts about this. Mission Board is partnering with the Berea Urban Farm so we can try and cook and deliver some easy dinners for parents and kids who are all trying to work and go to school and all that stuff. Our Nurturing Care Board has done some wonderful things to reach out to families who have been grieving. We have little packages that send your care to their doorstep in a socially distanced way, but with a little bread and a little reminder of love from us. So we've also been trying to help connect people to food services, and I wanted to remind everybody in these hard times that there are expanded food stamp eligibility programs right now in an effort to make sure that every child and every family has enough to eat. So if you didn't ever need them before, fine. If you never qualified before, fine. But my friends, this is a time when we need to make sure that we get the resources you need. You have to apply for those by the end of the week, next week. But it can be several $100s or more per month. And what I understand from the state is not enough people have applied. They've got money to spare. Please don't let it go to waste. We want people to eat. So if you think there's any chance at all, make sure you check the state's website and apply. We'd love that. And you could use it. Community is not just what we think and what we feel, and it's not just people who look or feel or know or have our experiences. Community is about being aware of our whole world. So we're working hard on our new Whiteness and Witness class that's going to be starting later in the month. The first step to learning how to dismantle racism isn't marching. That's a good step. But the first step is thoughtful prayer and education. And white people, we've got a need to do that. We need to examine our whiteness and the effect that it has on others and what privileges it conveys that we might not have even known we had. And that's understandable that we wouldn't necessarily see it, but it's not understandable that we don't care. And of course we do. So this is what we'll do, a non-judgmental class that'll be honest to help us get a better understanding of how whiteness affects the world and how the idea of whiteness was invented and how it has some bad and unintended effects. So registration for that class is going to open soon, and you just keep checking the Union Church News for all the latest information. Also, as a community, we hold all of us who are thinking of others around us. We're thinking of our families who've lost people. And at Union Church, we always place an evergreen on the altar to remind us that God's love is evergreen for us. It never drops its leaves. It never fails to be life and liveliness for us. Today, we're sad to report that we have an evergreen for 2 people. Billy Faye Poole was the mother of Jeff Poole, and she entered into the wider life on August 13th. And as you may have already heard, a member of our college community, Dr. Stephen Pulsford, was found dead. And we're very sad about his loss. Steve was a professor at the college. His children were members of our youth group, and we're sure sending our love to his family. Each week we also light a justice candle. And this week we wanted to remember someone who was part of the Union Church community. A long time ago, Reverend Joe Peacock, who I think we mentioned last week. Joe passed away. He was served at both Union Church and Berea College in the 50s. And he was a father, grandfather, pastor. He was a civil rights activist and really taught a lot of the members here now some of that language and how to walk in that prayer. He was a tireless champion of social justice and peacemaking. Now, there's going to be a virtual memorial service for him on the 29th at 2 p.m., and we'll be sending out a link. That's 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time, so it'll be 3 p.m. here. And a virtual reception is going to follow. So any of you who were here at that time and remember Joe's ministry, I hope that you'll be able to join it. Please save the date and join the family for that celebration. Today we light the justice candle for the Reverend Joe Peacock. Oh, my friends, this is all part of being a community. And it's all new and it's all strange and nobody does it well and we're still figuring it out. So if there's something that we can do to help you feel connected, I hope you'll let me know. Today, be connected this way though. Be connected. Read the prayers of your friends and send a greeting on the chat boxes and on the comment lines. Let's remember one another in our thoughts. And as we celebrate 11 years of Celtic Festival, put on by one of our own members, Suna Fredrickson. Thank you, Suna, for this beautiful gift. We're going to have special music all day today, all the way through, prepared in that Celtic spirit. So here is Al, Alice, and Ruth to help us center ourselves in a life of peace and the natural beauty.
Okay, we'd like to finish up with a Robert Burns piece that we learned from a group up in Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. They're a family band called the Berea McNeils, and they all play, they all sing, they all dance. They're terrific. We heard them play a song called My Heart's in the Highlands, and we fell in love with it, so we'd like to try that.
Especially for Suna.